Hi everyone, I'm Hales and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you everything that I've been making in the month of April in lockdown here in the UK. And before I launch in, I was just going to show you that I found a new corner to film in, because this is what happens when you have to stay at home. I rearranged the furniture in the conservatory, and as a result of that I've made more room where I'm hopefully can get a better shot of like a full length outfit pic, rather than where I was trying to film before in front of my desk. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm actually sitting on a tub chair, which is an IKEA tub chair I re-upholstered a few years ago, and I did a tutorial on that. So if you're interested and have a bit of furniture that you wish to do the same and you want to check that out, I'm going to put the link down in the description box below. On with my first make. Now this is the Starlight Patterns, it's the Diana top. I did the PDF, so just printed it, and the annoying thing was when I printed it out and stuck it together, the front and the back is cut on the fold, but you have, the way the pattern is, they give you the whole of the front and the whole of the back, and it's just such a waste of paper and ink, because all you really need to do is half the front, half the back, and then you just put it on the fold like you would on a regular pattern. But for some reason, because there's no difference between like the left and the right, why it's done like that, but that's a minor gripe. Anyway, the pattern itself, it fits really well, and I think it's a nice fitting pattern, but they don't give you a neck binding or anything else. So the neck, they suggest that you just turn under and fold under and stitch, but when you get to the point of the V, it's really tricky to get that in the seam, because to fold enough fabric under, it then means you're taking too much fabric on from the sides. Anyway, I emailed Starlight, they replied back, and they said that what they do is to use clear elastic they stitched on, like swimming elastic, then folded it under, and then used their cover stitch machine to top stitch round. I don't have a cover stitch machine, I've run out of clear elastic, so I just tried folding it under and top stitching, but it didn't catch, the material didn't catch in the seam of the V. It was a bit of a mess. I went over it a couple of times, had to unpick it. So there is like double lines of stitching. You can't tell from a distance, and you may not be able to tell from this video, but it's there. I also, oh, the fabric was a cheapy fabric from eBay, which didn't cost me much, I've had for a while. The other fabric I used was a remnant, I think it was a remnant from First for Fabrics here in the UK. It is a poly jersey. I think it's a poly jersey. It feels more synthetic and doesn't have so much stretch to it. So it is more of a slinkier fitted top. I think it's okay, but the top stitching is absolutely terrible. But the shoulders as well, the arm side, that you fold under and stitch. And the stitching is really messy. But when I was editing this video, you couldn't really tell. So I'll just keep that between me and you. The next top I made is what I'm wearing now, which is the Plaintain tee from Doe Patterns, and this is a free download, free top, and it's PDF. Available in, I think it's 3/4 length or the short sleeved. I bought this a couple of years ago and had a size cut out. I didn't check what size I had cut out. I've put on weight since I cut that size out, but I just went ahead and just cut it out. It is tight, it's tight around here at the back, just across the upper back. So next time I do definitely need to cut a bigger size. But I really like the fabric. I only had 1 meter of it, and I managed to get it out of that, and it's quite a good length on the top as well. Most of my patterns, and I think I probably did it to this one, I think every top pattern in this video I've shortened by 1 inch at the waist, because I'm 5'3" and I have a short torso, which I never realised until I started making my own clothes. But I find by shortening it at the waist, everything sort of lines up better and sits on a nicer place. Next up we have McCalls 7889. Now this was in a viscose fabric, which is the lovely Anna from You Got Me in Stitches, and if you haven't checked out her channel, I'm going to link it below in the description box. She sent me this fabric at Christmas time as a gift, and it was so nice of her. And to be honest with you, I don't make red clothes. I'm not drawn to it, but she thought with my dark hair colouring that it would look, you know, quite nice, and it would take me out of my comfort zone. So I thought, and I wasn't sure what to make. But I've had this pattern, I think I bought it last summer with the dress in mind, but then I saw a couple of reviews and I was like, oh, I'm not sure, maybe I'll try them at the top, because I didn't have enough fabric to make the dress, because I think that uses quite a bit more fabric. So I thought I'd make the top, and again I shortened it at the waist by 1 inch, but I also did add length because I made a toile of it and it just seemed a bit short, so I added length at the bottom of it. Now the trouble with viscose is it does stretch out and it sort of moves around all over the place. I try not to handle it too much, but you know, it is what it is. The arms, you'll see in the video, I'm sort of going like this. The sleeves are just really big. I took at least 1 inch out of it because they were like really down. So if you stood up on the side, you could see right in. So you'd have to wear a camisole underneath it. Well, this is the kind of top you could wear in the summer, which means you don't want to be layering up. So I did take length out, but it's still there. So I have seen some people make it in a stiffer fabric and it really sticks out. So it does lay down, but there's too much fabric there, and you can't tell that from the envelope pattern or the line drawings. What else did I do? So I added length at the bottom, took a waist inch out of the waist just so it sat at the right point. I'm referring to my notepad here. Oh, there's pleats at the back and at the front. So they get you to baste those pleats in, and then there's a line of top stitching all around the waist, which is a bit strange, and I wasn't sure if I got it right or not, but that's what I did. So you do sort of feel that line of stitching, but it holds everything in place. I wasn't sure if this suited me or not, but since trying it on with a pair of jeans, I actually think it looks quite nice, and I wasn't sure if it was oversized and made me look bigger, but I don't think it does because it comes in at the waist. It actually, I am quite pleased with this top. If you do want to make this pattern, just bear in mind that it is really big on the arms. The other thing was the buttons that I used, they were vintage buttons from my stash, which I bought at a fabric festival last year. Next up is Simplicity's 2058. This, the skirt I chose to make from the Amazing Fit range was the maxi length, and from the curvy range because there was 3 different size sort of fittings of it, and I chose the curvy one. When I looked at the pattern measurements for the hips, I thought that I needed to be a size bigger than the pattern I actually had, so I added width and basically kind of graded up to the next size for all the pieces, made it up, and then it was too big, so I had to take it all in again. So lesson learned, should have just made this one size and then just left it. That was it. It was made out of 2 meters of, it was labelled up as viscose when I bought it, but it definitely feels more just like either 100% cotton or a cotton lawn, because it has that sort of crisp. It doesn't have the drape of a viscose, and it certainly didn't stretch out like a viscose would. I left it hanging for a day. Sorry, I'm talking with my hands. Left it hanging for a day and it did not drop out or stretch out or anything. So that's a fabric, is a bit of a strange one, but it's really light and airy for summer with sandals. I do need to have maybe the Diana top in more of a white fabric to go with this, because I'm just videoing it in sort of like an oversized weight ready to wear t-shirt, and I don't think it's as flattering on me having a high neck. I think it needs more of a v-neck. So that is that one. Now onto the dud, which is down to sizing. This is the Emerson pants by True Bias, and I made them as shorts just to check the fit out of them, and here they are. So they have pleats in the front, and you've got a flat fronted waistband, and at the back it's elasticated, and it has pockets in there as well. This is some denim that I had as a sort of a leftover from making my mum a tote bag. It's been in my stash forever. I can't even remember when I bought it. I think I bought it locally. There's like no stretch to it at all though. So I did this to check out the fit, because me and trousers just have not worked out so far yet, but I thought I'd try this because I thought with elastic that would help with fluctuating weight. Unfortunately, because there's no stretch, I could barely get these over my hips when I tried them on. I could just get them on, but they weren't particularly comfortable. I've probably put on a few pounds since the beginning of April, and I couldn't get them on to film, embarrassing enough. But when I did try them on to start with, there was length. There was too much length at the front, in the front crotch. So I took 1 inch out of the front crotch, and I also thought I'd try them in jersey. The pattern is not designed for jersey, and obviously you're sewing pleats in at the front, which generally you wouldn't do in a jersey fabric because they would just stretch out. But I thought I'd just give it a go. I have been doing a workout with the kids every morning over on the Body Coach YouTube channel. He's doing PE with Joe, and Joe Wicks is doing a 30-minute workout with kids, and people of all ages can do it. 9 AM UK British Standard Time, and they're all saved on the channel. So if you want to check those out, his link will be down below in the description box. But they're so exhausting. I thought I'd be a bit of jogging on the spot and a few stretches because it's designed for kids. And honestly, it's hot and sweaty work. So I need some more workout clothes. I have one pair of shorts which gets washed like every day. So I just quickly whipped these up out of a metre of jersey. I think it's a viscose jersey I have in my stash. I shortened by 1 inch and it was so much better on the crotch. The top stitching is awful. My machine broke halfway through making these, so I finished them off on a new machine, which I'll mention in a different video. But I wasn't sure of the stitches. If you look closely, which I'm not going to show you closely, there is literally stitching all over the place. But these are just basically wearing my living room to do a workout with. But I do know for next time, if I want to make the trousers, I would definitely either size up or make sure I've got them in a stretchy fabric, and then they will fit a lot better. Last up is Simplicity 8014. This pattern has had really good reviews from all sorts of people on the internet, and so I've had it a while. I've also had the fabric a while. I've had the fabric for 2 years, and it was bought with some gift vouchers that I won through a competition with Minerva Crafts, minerva.com, and it's fabric which is a designer cotton lawn. And there's a TV presenter here in the UK called Kirsty Allsop. She filmed in the height of summer one year as property programme in Bury St Edmunds, so it's just down the road from where I am. And she wore a dress in this shirt dress in this exact fabric, and I thought, if she can wear that in the height of summer, that must be quite a cool breezy fabric to wear. I only bought 2 meters of it though, and luckily this pattern you can squeeze it out of 2 meters. But it's really short because there are various lengths and various collars and skirt widths. But the one I chose, I had to choose view D, I think it was, because that used the least amount of fabric. I meant to put belt loops on at the waist, and I forgot. The pattern doesn't say belt loops, but I just find it's better when you have a tie belt that it holds it in place and it's not like slipping up and down all the time, which can be a bit annoying. The yoke at the back was supposed to be cut on the bias. No, it was supposed to be cut, I can't remember. It's either on grain, and I didn't have any room on my layout for that. I cut it the opposite way to what the pattern said. So if you have a directional print, it might have a sort of influence on how you do that. I also cut 2 back yokes, and I use one as a facing. Let me show you. So this is the back of the inside. So here, that is then all enclosed. So I hand slip stitch that to the seam allowance. But the pattern doesn't tell you to do that, but that's a really good, I think that's a good tip that I can give you, because it just gives a nicer finish. The other thing that I did was, this is actually the lower facing, and as you can tell by this cream piece in the middle, I hadn't noticed the piece I needed to cut. I'd forgotten to cut that piece out, and so when it came to it, and I was like, oh, where's piece number 22, I think it was. I hadn't cut it out, and I didn't have enough fabric to cut this out. So I did, and I used this, because I thought it was just going on the inside, and I didn't realise at the time, I didn't really read the instructions properly, it was for the bottom. So the bottom of the dress has a facing, which you then flip under, and then sort of blind hem stitch. But that was fine, that lined it up with the side seam, and that bit lined up from the side seam to the end, but this bit here in the middle, there was too much fabric, so then it was all off center. So got rid of that, and then just turned it up twice and just did a narrow hem, which looks like, I just did it on my machine rather than using a facing piece. So I probably lost a little bit of length out of that, but I mean not much by turning it up, and just the facing just didn't work. Oh, this is my toile, and I just wanted to show you. I made it out of a duvet cover, which I got from Aldi for 49p, because it was a toddler duvet cover. It was a complete bargain. But I noticed that when I did it, I think this is the one, the shoulders, oh, I don't know if you can tell from here, the shoulders just didn't sit right. And I thought, no, it needs to, sorry, I'm looking in the viewfinder so I can see what I'm showing you. It needs to sit up. So I thought I need to do a narrow shoulder adjustment. Did a quick Google on that, and I did, I think taking about an inch out of the front, and then obviously realised by doing that I needed to take it out of the back yoke because I didn't do that on something. I nearly cut out and realised I hadn't taken the inch out of the shoulders at the back. So by doing that, it's just brought it up, and then it just sits on my shoulders a lot nicer. And I think that could be an issue with a lot of the patterns I've made, and I haven't realised that that's an adjustment that I need to do. So I will know that for next time. They are all my makes for April. I am getting onto it with May makes. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make at the moment. I'm looking through what fabrics I've got, what patterns I've got, because delivery time online is taking a lot longer because of the current situation. So I'm looking to use up some of the things that I've already got in my stash. I also realised I nearly ran out of machine needles, so I had to quickly go and order some of them. But let me know what you're making for me, May. Are you joining in with the challenge? I'm gonna randomly put photos on my Instagram, I think, probably on my stories, because that's the lazy way of doing it. But I'm not strictly sticking to it. I just like to sit back and watch what everyone else is doing throughout the month and get inspired for new pattern and new people to follow. Thank you for watching this video, and I will link another video that you may be interested in at the end of this, and I'll see you next time.